Welcome back to the Glycogen Cycling channel. Have a great series here that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. It's probably like I'll probably make 7 videos out of this whole series. And it has to do with the Glades cycling race, but there's a lot of drama like towards the end that if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know about, but I'm going to do a whole video breaking down everything that happened, and yeah, you guys are really going to enjoy this series. So let's pause and show you guys the map course for today. So here's the course for today. So we started off in Moorhaven and headed west, and the first clip I'm going to show you is on this stretch here, and then we go around, and this is a 45-mile course. Then the last stretch is the last clip I'm going to show you today, and that's right here. So the first part of this race was literally just about raw speed. How fast can you spin your legs? You know, do you have the right gear ratio? Because this whole stretch down here, we just had a ripping tailwind, probably like 25 miles an hour steady. So you can see by my speed, 35. You know, we're basically just holding that. And if you don't have, like, if you're on junior gears, you probably get dropped, because I was on a 52.11, which I find to be the best gear ratio, to be honest, because then you could run a 36. Now, since it's in Florida, you know, I could probably deal with a 53, but I find a 52 just, I don't know, I can just roll it over a lot better than a 53. So I was using a 52.11, and I'm basically just in my biggest gear this whole stretch down. And there's definitely parts that are slower, like right now, 30 is slow. But mostly is just tailwind, easy out. You know, you can see power is just barely anything at points, you know, coasting at 32. So yeah, one thing to mention about this race is it wasn't really a sanctioned race. Like, they had results and everything through the timing chips. So, but it wasn't like USA Cycling was there. So this was kind of like a wild west race, which honestly was so awesome. But also kind of sketchy at points when you're in the left lane and there's cars coming at you. There's more to talk about in race number 2 with that. But yeah, honestly, it was so nice not really having to worry about, like, oh, are you a foot over the yellow line, and are you gonna get pulled or relegated back to the back of the field or whatever. So it was kind of like ride at your own risk, which is fun, but also there was times that was sketchy. So to each their own. But yeah, so here's the first section of the race. Nothing really happened at this point, and really nothing really happened until the end of this race. So let's skip ahead to the action when we get to the headwind, and that's where everything went down. So here we have the headwind section, and this is the last probably 6 or 7 miles of this race. And you can see there's a group of 3 that just went off the front that I just didn't go with for whatever reason. We'll talk more about that in a second, but there's actually one guy ahead of them. So before this clip on the crosswind section, there was actually a group that got away, and I thought they were gone for sure. It had Justin in it. It had all the right people, but surprisingly, we ended up pulling them back. They put in a huge effort on the crosswind, and then kind of just blew up with this headwind. Remember, the tailwind we had when we're going 35 the other direction is now the headwind going into the final stretch. So, 18, 19 miles an hour. Like when do you see that in a race? Pretty much never. It's always at least 25. 25 feels slow in a race. So that just shows you how 300 watts, 18 miles an hour. And Justin right there was a little upset with me. He he was like, "Your ship has sailed." At the time, it was just hilarious. So he was just, he wanted me to go with the other guys. And just to mention this whole race, so it was Cat 1 through 4 was all in here. So I'm a 3, trying to make my way back up to a 2 after I downgraded. And, I really came into this race with not much expectations at all. I was not really training super hard, didn't really have a set schedule, only was doing like an hour junk miles every day for like the last 3 months, even 4 months. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to show up. If I finish, cool. Not really expecting much. And you can see Mr. Justin was upset with me. He attacked me in the grass there. And yeah, so it just not much expectations going into this. So the fact that I didn't go with that move, I don't know. I just, it's always the move you don't go with that sticks. So that's ended up what happening. Those 3 and then the 1 ahead of them got away and just finished the race. But and we're going to show this in a second, but I just want to explain this for everyone. So when you're in the field, there's like a rubber band effect, right? So if you have a rubber band, and hopefully I can do this like this. So if you have a rubber band, it's like if you're over here trying to attack and then the field's like right here, there's a stretchy mechanism when you're trying to get away, right? And then only when you get that speed discrepancy are you able to snap the rubber band. So really when you're trying to get away, is what you want is the speed discrepancy. So that's usually why you attack. You put in a huge effort to try to get away so nobody wants to jump on your wheel or can't jump on your wheel. And that way you can be on your own solo, and then they have to actually do a lot of work in the wind to try to get back to you. So ideally though, what you want is you just want to put in the least amount of effort as possible. So, one of my favorite moves is like a slingshot. The front group is slowing down and you are holding your speed coming up, and then you can just slingshot past them because you have that speed discrepancy, which is what you're looking for. It's not necessarily how much power, it's speed, raw speed. So I kind of just like decide, yeah, I'm just gonna roll right here and see what happens. Like I wasn't really expecting anything. And then, so I'm just holding like 550, 600 at points. And then I realized like nobody's following me. Nobody's following me. So I'm just like, okay. And at this point, we're like 1 mile from the finish. And maybe just over 1 mile, like maybe a mile and like a quarter. So I knew like we've been averaging like 20 or so. So that's like 5 minutes. So I just need to hold my 5-minute power. So I'm just like, okay, let's just go out and hold 400 watts for the next 5 minutes when nobody was on my wheel. And it just happened to work. So that was, honestly, that's what you're looking for. You want to get off and break that rubber band. You want to break that rubber band with the least amount of effort. And the max wattage I got to was what, 550 maybe, 500. not, you know, 1200, 1300 watts to break that band, which is going to take a lot out of your legs. So it was pretty consistent of an attack, and I just need to hold it for the next 5 minutes and ended up working out, and I took 5th. So yeah, that put me in 5th overall for the series, and at this point I was like, interesting. And the top 5 riders for the GC, you know, first was 500, then I believe it was 300, and then like 200 or something for the podium, and then like or maybe it was 150 for 3rd, and then 4th got like 100, or no, maybe it was 50, and then 5th got 25, something like that. But I was like, maybe I can hold off this GC. So what you guys are going to see over the next 6, and this series was 6 races total, so just want to mention that. So what you guys are going to see over the next 5, probably 6 videos, because there's something interesting that happened in the middle before this series was over. You're gonna see me just try to go for this GC. That's what I went for, and if you've been following along, you'll know something cool happened at the end. So stay tuned, and we're gonna have a fun little series here over the next month or 2. I'm gonna try to release a video every week for the next 2 months. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments the best attack you've ever had. What happened? What was your move? And what was the result? Did you get in a breakaway? Did you win the race? Did you get in a successful break and got podium? Let me know in the comments your best attack, and I'll make sure to reply to pretty much every comment for a couple hours after the video goes live. So make sure you leave a comment right away, and I'll get to it.